Hey, bless up, fam. It never fails. Every time I'm trying to go live, now all of a sudden my Wi-Fi not working. I had to cut on my phone. Everything's trying to stop the program, but we will not stop. We will not stop. We will not quit. My lighting may be a little bit different because I'm in a different area of the land, and I'm just trying the new spot, which I'm learning that this spot may not be the best spot for my Wi-Fi. So that's how you learn. You gotta try new things. What's up, Miss Beautiful 444? What's going on? Bless up, bless up, bless up. What's going on, family man? Good to see you. Bless up to you, family man. Good to see you, Queen. What's going on, Queen? What's up? What's up? Hope y'all doing well. All in the soil. What's going on? All in the soil. What is going on with you? Hope everything is going well, fam. What's up with the weather? We finally get into some cooler temperatures. Right now, it is a beautiful 54 degrees here in Northwest Florida. This morning, it got down to 40 degrees. Yeah, 40 degrees. And guess what? I woke up with the sun. I came out, I walked on the land, on my neighbors. They are harvesting peanuts, so y'all might hear some chatter in the background. They planted peanuts, and now they're at the point where they're harvesting the peanuts, and there's a lot of action going on across from the land. So if y'all hear that, that's what's going on. Every time that I do go live, I have to go live almost to the front of the property, and it's just to get that signal. It's the highest point, and I just want a good signal. How you doing, Kathy B? What's going on? Good to see you, Kathy B. Bless up, bless up. What's going on? All the way in Arizona. Steffi, what's up? What's up? What's going on? Many blessings to you too as well. Y'all, fam, what's going on with these times? What's going on with these places? All these things, activities. We watching richer people getting rich. We watching people that were comfortable getting uncomfortable. We watching a lot of different stuff. Now, I'm always listening for your comments, looking at your comments, and I want to address it because my job is to provide you information, provide you inspiration, and to allow you to have some type of virtual conversation with me. One of the conversations that a lot of people, y'all see that sunlight? What I need to get back? Do I need to get back a little bit? That sun right there. Or do I need to come forward? I don't know. Let me see if I can adjust myself. Let's see what's going on. Is that better? I don't know. That's a hard shadow, ain't it? Maybe I need to turn towards the sun. Tell me what's going on. Y'all tell me what I need to do. Do I need to turn this way towards the sun? Is that better? Give me a thumbs up if that's better. If you can hear me, see me, and if the lighting is better, say the lighting is better right there. Let's see. You got the coast right that time. Las Vegas. Okay. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I get better. Charge it to my heart and not my mind. Forward. Okay. So I was forward in the shade. Is this better right here? Let me know if this is better right here. Am I getting a good, clear signal right here? Video, sound quality. Let me know what's going on. Okay, great from my end. Always following your content. You know what? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for following the content. Thank you so much for following me and supporting the channel. I really appreciate it because let me tell you, the people that watch this channel, they are my motivation to keep on keeping on because I'm telling you, a lot of y'all been rock solid from day one and y'all continue to keep blessing me. Y'all show up in my live, you show up in my comments, you hit the thumbs up, and I appreciate that. Really, it means a lot. Look what I just picked today. Y'all see that? This is a blending between a lime and I think a tangerine. A lime and a tangerine. It's a hybrid right here. So it's right. I'm going to try it right here. Or is it an orange? I think it's a lime and an orange blend, which orange is a hybrid anyway. Most people don't know about citrus. The majority of your citrus that you eat is a hybrid. It's not really the organic. You got a kumquat, they say. Now, this is what people say, because it may change. Give it a few more years, the things may change. But yeah, I'm going to try this live today. But we're going to have a conversation about renting versus buying. I hope y'all ready for this conversation, because we're going to go a little bit deeper into this conversation, because for some of you all, I want you to make the decision, and I want you to comment in the chat. I want you to say rent, buy. First of all, we're going to start out, before we have this conversation, before we dive in, I want you to put buy in the comment if you pro buying, and I want you to put rent if you pro renting. Put it in the chat. Let me know your thoughts going into this. And then we're going to go, before we end, and then we're going to vote again on which is which. Y'all let me know. Family Man says thumbs up. Okay. The sun is moving, fam. This sun is moving. Y'all notice I just switched and the sun was in my face, and already it's going up a little bit higher. So we're going to see what we can do. I can't chase the sun. We got trees, the shading it, and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to do the best that we can based on what we have. You are good with the sound. Thank you, Queen. Good to see you. I love that icon. I wish I could read that inscription off to the side. Yummy enjoy. Look, we're going to enjoy it together, because I have not had it dish right. I picked a few of them, but this is soft now. It's like soft. So I'm curious to know if it's sweeter or more tart. I thought it like a kumquat. Let me tell you, fam, I got some kumquats, and I don't know if y'all are willing to wait. I can go pick some kumquats, because I got some kumquats that are ready. But if y'all willing to wait, I'll go grab some, and I got some Centennial kumquats that are ready and right. We can try that too as well. Y'all just let me know. I don't want to prolong anything. So Family Man coming out the box saying buy. Family Man, we're going to have a conversation. And then let me know at the end of this conversation whether you change your opinion or whether you agree. Kathy B says buy. Yeah. I'm ready, but the equity and others benefit. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Y'all let me know your thoughts. Renting or buying? Which one would you rather do? Would you rather rent, or would you rather buy? What's up, Happy Matt? Bless up. Kathy B said, I'll wait. You gonna wait? So you want me to go get that kumquat? You gonna wait on that? Or you gonna wait on deciding whether you're gonna rent or buy? Let me know. Gigi, what's up? What's up, beautiful queen? I think I need to move. I'm kind of shaded a little bit. I think I need to move just a little bit closer. Bear with me for a minute. Hopefully I won't dump anything off this little table. I'm gonna try this spot right here. Y'all be patient with me. Let's see if we can try this right here. Is that better? I know I'm dog, but I don't want to be just a blob on your screen. You know what I'm saying? Got some T's. Y'all put some T's in the chat. If you're thankful for today, today is November the 24th, 2024. If you're thankful, put some T's in the chat. You didn't have to be here. I don't know how long you've been on this rock, but you've been here and you're here for a reason. So put some T's in the chat. Please put some T's in the chat. If you're thankful for life, if you're thankful for today, put some T's in the chat, because we're going to go in. Is it best, not just now, but even to the future? Is it best to buy, or is it best to rent? Y'all let me know. I want to know what's your thoughts just thinking about this right now. From the beginning, before we dive into this conversation, I want to know, going into this, what do you think? Is it best to buy, or is it best to rent? Let me know. Is that my friend? Yes, it is my friend, Ben May. What's going on, Ben May? Good to see you. Bless up with that passion fruit icon. What's going on, man? Much love to you, man. Good to see you. Got some T's in the chat. Ben coming in said, I'm thankful. That's what I'm talking about. Walking to this day with the presence of What? Authority and confirmation and true tranquility. Because you know that today was crafted and designed just for you. And it's up to you to enjoy this very moment. Life journeys. What's going on? Got some T's in the chat. We see the T's in the chat. Life journey. Bye. I don't want to pay for someone else's mortgage. Their retirement. Now, Happy Mac. I know you're not saying it like this, but I'm reading it like this. So be patient with me. Bye. I don't want to pay someone else's mortgage, their retirement, their car note, or family vacations and not have anything to show for it. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that look. When I read that, I don't know. Happy Mac could say it like that or not. I don't know. You let me know, Happy Mac, if I read it correctly or not with the emotions that I displayed. A lot of people, they say, I don't want to pay for somebody else's bill. I don't know. We're gonna talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up, Happy Mac. We're gonna dive into that. I want some more opinions and views of buying versus rent before we jump into this. Seeds, soil, and sunshine. What's going on? Bless up to you. Got some T's in the chat. Oh my goodness, look at them T's. Y'all see them T's? Thankful. Y'all better send the praises up. Let your fragrance bless not only this world, but your spirit, your soul. Because by saying, I'm thankful, something created you. Something created your environment. Something thought about you. A lot of us talk about AI is going to do this, it's going to do that. But think about this. Something created AI. Something created the trees. Something created the moon, the sunshine, the air that we breathe, the food that we eat. Whether you choose to name it, to brand it, whatever, just say thankful. Just say, I'm thankful for you creating what I have today and where I am today. That's all. That's all we mean when we say thankful. Good to see you again. Okay. Talking to Queen. Good to see you. Happy Mac say thankful. I couldn't imagine renting because what I know about buying. What you know, family man? What you know about buying? I want you to drop some jewels in the chat. What you know about buying? Because we're going to dive into that. Black Guns, what's going on? Black Guns and Garden, what's going on? Many blessings to you. So let's dive in there. We're not even going to play around. We getting ready to really rob. You said this. Okay. I didn't want to misrepresent you. I wanted to say it from my heart, from my gut. When I read it, I'm like, I felt that. Like I had a connection with that, right? But we're gonna have a conversation. Yes, sir. It's a beautiful day today. Little chilly over here. Yeah. Look. I got a little something going on. No t-shirt though. No t-shirt, butt naked up under there. But hey, at the same time, hey, it's cool, it's chill. But as younger person, I've only ever rented, so I can't really speak too much. But ownership of your space definitely seems preferable. Did my friend being I don't know. I feel like in another life, maybe Ben and I were the same person in so many ways, or we were twins or something. He said this word. Do y'all see the bottom of his comment? But ownership of your space. That's what we're going to dive into. We're going to dive into space. Because, fam, do we really own anything? Do we really own anything? And then a lot of people want to debate me about when I talk about land ownership. Man, this bothers me because it's son. But a lot of people want to debate me about you don't really own nothing. Okay. Let me ask this question. Before we go into this, would you rather pay more taxes or less taxes? Would you rather pay 40% of your income with taxes? Or would you rather pay 5% of your taxes with taxes? Ownership changed the game. When you're buying something and when you own it outright, your output is far less in most cases, not all, but most cases. And the more that you can retain, the more that you can diversify what you want to do at the end of the day. But we're going to go into this. So let's talk about renting. Gigi says, if I were going somewhere outside the U.S. temporarily, I would be happy to rent. Okay, we're going to dive into that. I'm glad you said something about that. Because everything is situational, fam. Everything is situational. Let's talk about benefits of renting. When you rent, you don't own the property. So therefore, you have a small responsibility. You have just a little bit of responsibility, enough to keep your space, as my good friend Ben say, because you know I'm a proponent of space. Space is everything, right? The more freedom and the more space you have, the more it empowers you and it allows you to be really creative and really living your own truth. So with that said, renting, some cases, is less than owning. That means the maintenance, the upkeep. Now, you got some renters that rent maybe a home or a house, and they may have made an agreement that I will fix everything that goes wrong or goes awry, other than anything structural, roofing, plumbing, all that kind of stuff. But I would get a reduced rent because anything that tears up, I will maintain it, right? Some people rent and they say, whatever tears up, whatever goes awry, you're responsible for it, and I'm just going to report it. Then you have another type of renting where it's rent to own. Every month that I pay is going towards my down payment into acquiring this property, or it goes into the payment of me buying this property. Whatever you choose, it's all about rent. Now, one thing about renting, you can walk away at any time with no repercussions. And the only repercussion that you might have if you did a deposit. So if you say, I'm here, I don't want to be here, I don't like this space, I can walk away, I can walk away. That's renting. When you have a mortgage, you're saying, I am in this contract, and for however long this contract is, until, depending on your mortgage, some people don't have prepayment penalties, and some people do. I would never go into any agreement without allowing myself to early pay for whatever I'm buying. So I would recommend, no matter how desperate you are, no matter what you're going through, do not get into a contract where you can't early pay it off. The fact is that most mortgages, if you're talking about a 30-year mortgage, the majority of mortgages, the first 14 to 15 years, you're paying the interest, and you're paying a small smidget of the principal. And as you go past the first 15 years, depending on the circumstances, this is a big umbrella. I'm not laying down nothing that is specific to certain contracts, but I'm saying the majority of the contracts that we get into, the majority of the loans, the first 14 to 15 years, you put in the majority of your month-to-month payment to interest. So are you really owning anything if you walk away in 6 years, 5 years, 7 years? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Are you really owning anything, right? Then we have this thing called equity. We watching the market change. Interest rates are high. Right now, the interest rate is higher than I bought my first home in 1997. I bought my first home in 1997. Y'all do the math. Yeah, I'm old. I'm super old. But I was the mere tender age of 23. I bought my first home at the age of 23. And that home, it was 7.78% interest. The mortgage was $597. Man, those days. Now, at the time, I said, ooh, because I came from a little small town We went from $80 a month for rent. Then I moved to the beautiful city of Tallahassee, college town, right? To $575 a month in rent. Yes, from $80 a month. Now, granted, I had the pool, I had the wash house, but I had to pay for my cleaning, my washing. I had the entertainment, little movie theater type spot. I had landscaping, but it was shared community, right? And I had the beautiful rumble of I-10 whenever I walked out on my porch. The beautiful rumble of Interstate 10. At that time, it was not heavily traveled, but it still was this bumpy, the bumpy, the bumpy, the bumpy, the bump. And when I raised my windows at night, I could hear that thump, the thump, the thump. And it was subtle, but quaint. And on the other side of I-10, there was horses. And I could walk out because I was backed up to like this woodland area, but the people that own the property on the other side had horses. And horses would come, and they would come and stick their head over the fence, and they would kind of interact with us. It was nice. Next to me, I had the maintenance guy. He liked to cross his legs, listen to some nice 60s mellow music, and he loved to smoke. And I would sit out on my back patio because this was my first place in a beautiful town. And the smell, this was before those cheap cigarettes, but the smell of tobacco would just kind of radiate. And I would sit back and I was like, man, this is living. This is life. While I listened to I-10, I watched the horses, and I would smell the fragrance of the cigarettes. This was living. But this was rent. Now, one thing about renting, I had some people that was from another country. There was my neighbors on one side, had the maintenance guy on the other side. He would listen to his music, and from time to time, he liked to turn it up a little bit. The people from another country next to me, they had this pungent turmeric, garlic smell. And now that I'm older and I have the appreciation of garlic and turmeric, I don't view it the same way. But at that time, it was very distracting, right? But I commingled, and I paid my $5.75 every month. Every month. But I said there gotta be something different. There gotta be a better way than me placing my money and my funds into somebody else's pocket. Because with renting, somebody got to pay the taxes, somebody got to pay the mortgage, somebody got to pay for everything, right? But now let's talk about the benefits of renting. I didn't have to fix a thing. I didn't even have to change the filters in the air conditioning, none of that kind of stuff. I didn't have to cut no grass. I didn't have to sweep outside. All I had to do was maintain my space inside of my interior. The maintenance man would come in from time to time. The pest guy would come in from time to time. And I come to find out after I left that the manager's granddaughter would come in from time to time, who ended up stealing about $1,200 out of my cabinet. But anyway, I regret. But I did not have to worry about who was going to clean up, who was going to fix anything. And guess what? I was able to save. I was able to save for a home. So renting, if you are able to rent and save your money. Now let's talk about, just say your aspirations are not to save for a home. Let's just say you may want to leave something for somebody else, or you might just want to live your greatest life. If you can pay for rent and it's far less than ownership, and you're able to invest and save or to make your money grow, it may be more beneficial for you to rent. it may be more beneficial for you to rent a homestead or to rent apartment or rent a house than to actually own it. So, classic example. If you're paying $1,500 a month for a mortgage for the next 30 years, that's your obligation. But you can rent for $600 for basically the same location. Or even if, just say it's $1,000, that's $500 of savings. If the average home mortgage is $1,500 and you are paying $1,000, that's $500. But my question is, what are you doing with that $500? Because if you sell that home, just say you stay in that home, let's just pick a easy number for 10 years. So 500 times 12 is what, fam? Y'all help me with the math. 5 times 12 is what? 60? 6,000? So you're able to save 6,000. 6,000 times 10 is what? 6,000 times 10 is $60,000. Then if you have it in an interest-bearing account, or maybe stocks, or maybe bonds, maybe coins, precious metals, just say you was able to save about $7,000, including interest, per year. And I'm doing this low. So 7 times 10 is $70,000. Now, say you bought the house and you stayed in it for 10 years, and you're paying $1,500 a month for your mortgage and insurance and all that good stuff, right? Because we got to count. I look at insurance, mortgage, everything. And then just say you was able to sell that house for $100,000 profit after 10 years. One person that's renting may have $70,000 in cash. And then the other person, by the time they pay the real estate guy, by the time they pay the taxes and everything, they may have $70,000. To me, renting makes sense. You didn't have to acquire, when the refrigerator went out, you didn't have to acquire the roof being replaced in them 10 years. You didn't have to acquire none of that. But now, if you just living and you're not putting that money aside and you're getting a reduced rate versus ownership, then it may not be beneficial. Because in a lot of cases, in 10 years, if you bought that house, and just say if you did sell it in 10 years and you had $120,000 or $130,000 or $140,000 worth of equity, it was definitely better for you to buy than rent. So I'm saying all of this to mean that renting has its benefits. And if you may have a disability, or you may don't have the flexibility, or you don't have a lot of resources, you don't have craftsmanship, you can't fix a lot of different things, and you don't have the funding to pay somebody to do it, it may be better for you to rent, right? It may be more advantageous for you to rent than to buy. But one thing about buying, you can transfer your wealth. Now let's talk about benefits of buying. Space. I'm going to lead into being. Space is so important. When you buy, that's your space. That's your right to your space. You can demand the freedom of your space. The law is in your favor because you own that piece of property. Some properties, some people say, well, look what happened in 2008. In most cases, the money that you place into your property, you're gaining equity. And the people, don't let them naysayers talk you about 2008, 2010, about the market dropping, because guess what? If you stayed your behind still and stayed in that place, your equity far exceeded that downturn. If we go back to 2021, 2021, and you say, okay, I'm standing here for the next 10 years again. And if you're 20 years old, all of these 10 years mean so much, but they don't mean so much when you live them. Because you 20 years old right now, you 19, you 18 years old, you thinking when you 40, that's a long time. When you hit 40, you're going to realize that ain't that much time. Because regardless, we're going to pay for a place to stay. whether we cohabitate. Who's to say that you can't cohabitate with somebody? Who's to say you can't rent some of your bedrooms if it get tight? You have that flexibility, because the same thing you do with renting, you can do with ownership. So let's go down through this. I'm trying my best not to be biased, right? So you got a home, you're paying for this home, and the majority of your monthly payments is going to the interest and not to the actual principal of the mortgage. But what you can do, you can say, hey, I'm paying these $1,500, but I'm going to take $200 or $300 of these dollars, and I'm going to send a separate payment, and I want this to only go to the principal. And you write, whether it's on your check or you write in your notes in your payment, principal only. This is the reason why I say never get into a contract where it's prepayment penalties, right? But if you don't specify, they can choose what they want to do with it. One thing that you do not want to do when you make extra payments on your mortgage, you do not want them to deduct that from your next monthly payment. If they do that, they are still going into that interest and not to the principal. So, for instance, if the mortgage payment is $1,500, I pay $1,800. You don't want $300 deducted, and your next payment may be $1,200. No, I want it to be $1,500 the next month, but I want the $300 to my principal. The earlier you start, I don't care if it's $25, I don't care if it's $10, I don't care if it's $15, I don't care if it's $50, I don't care if it's $1,000. You want to put that to your principal. The earlier you do that, the more you can outpace the interest. Now, let me explain this. Just say the interest is 7%. 7% on $100,000. That's $7,000 a year in interest, right? Pretty simple. But guess what? What if you come to month 6 and instead of owing $100,000, you owe $80,000 or $90,000? Your interest is far less. So one thing that you want to do when you make your extra payments, put the extra payments towards the principal. Now you can slowly start outpacing your interest. And you're going to watch your mortgage is going to go from 30 years to 20 years to 15 years to even 10 years. Yes, you can pay off a house in 5 years. Think about this, fam. You buy a $120,000 house. You got Escalades, you got Suburbans, you got Navigators, you got all of this stuff that's the same price. Hummers, they're the same price. How are you able to pay this off in 6 or 7 years, but you can't pay off your mortgage in 6 and 7 years? You can, but you got to apply it to the principal. But here we go. So 10 years, just say you've been paying $50 extra every single month to the principal. And in 10 years, you watch that $70,000 equity to, you might have $100,000 to $120,000 in equity. Now, renting may not be as beneficial as ownership, right? Then you can paint your walls whatever color you can. You can put flower beds wherever you want to, based on HOA, because HOA, we know it supersedes everything. But you can have creativity no matter where you are, right? Ownership gives you freedom and flexibility. Taxes are there from the beginning to the end. I don't care whether you're renting or whether you're buying. Taxes are there. We all got to pay them, regardless. Let me go back to the chat. I'm sorry, I got distracted, y'all. What's going on, Country Hustle 101, Big Watermelon Doe? What's going on, my friend? Good to see you, man. Can I shout right now? Hallelujah poses the land owning the land, not rent. You know, fam, you see my tractor right here? You see Annabelle? I can park this wherever I want to on my land. I don't have HOAs. There's a road that goes the span of this way. That road, I could put wherever I want to. I could name that road whatever I want to. I could walk down that road whenever I want to. Ownership allows you the flexibility and the freedom to have a space on this rock where you can do whatever you want to. I can plant whatever I want to. I can pull down, shake down whatever I want to. Some people say, don't cut down all your trees. If I took these acres and I cut down every tree, that's my business. You don't dictate what I do and how I do it. It's my choice, right? That's what ownership does. But if I'm renting, I'm limited to what I can and what I can't do, because I don't have the right to do whatever I want to that property. I'm given access to the property, but I don't have the right to do it. And some of y'all, that may be cool. That may be fine. There's no right or wrong what I'm trying to say, fam. When it comes to renting versus buying, there's no right or wrong to this. My thing is, the longer you pay for something, in most cases, it will not compete against inflation like renting. 900 families. Well, let me not do that. Let me do this. Here in the state of Florida, there's an area, y'all look it up on the news, 900 mobile home owners are being displaced. So I can't say families. Some people may have 2 or 3 people to each mobile home, but 900 families are being dispersed. They are told that you must leave your property by XYZ. I think it's sometime in spring of 2025. And they are giving them $14,000 to buy them out. Now, let's break this down. Is it a war against mobile homes, or is it a war against ownership? What message is being displaced? In many cases, it'd be like, that's why I don't own no mobile home. But guess what? The same thing they're doing to mobile home owners, one day they will do to home structural sound property owners by form of HOAs, by form of associations. There will be a time, which I'm not saying there's not now, where you will construct and build a home on someone else's property, and you'll pay fees, and you won't own the land, but you will own the home. But guess what? The home is connected to the land. These people have bought and paid for, not all, but some of them have bought and paid for their mobile home. And they say you can move it, but most people don't have the $14,000 to move it, or the $20,000, or the $10,000 or $5,000. And then if they had to move it, they don't own land. So is it bad to own a mobile home, or is it bad to not own the property that the mobile home sits on? Think about it, fam. If you have a roof over your head and you don't own the land that it's sitting on, you're at the mercy of whoever owns the land that it's sitting on. You're at the mercy. They can choose whatever they want to choose. They can do whatever they want to at any time. They can sell it, and then the new owners can decide that you must vacate. And guess what you're left with? You're left with the decision whether I stay here and get kicked out, or I voluntarily move based on that. So, fam, do your research. Do not get into these contracts where you don't own nothing. Do not get in these contracts. Now, I'm going to give you another tidbit. The new thing now is you can't get homestead exemption without connecting. If you buy a manufactured home, a modular home, or even if you take your mortgage and build a home. Let me share with this, because it's some people that own the land and then they take out a mortgage loan and not tie it into the land, which a lot of financing people don't want to do it, because if you forfeit, they want to take everything. Now, one thing I would recommend, if you do the mortgage, whether it's manufactured, whether it's site built, segment a piece of your property. If you got acreage, just say you got 10 acres. and say you want to build a manufactured home or modular home, or you want to build a site built home, go ahead and section off 1 acre or half an acre or a quarter of an acre of that 10 acres for that home and finance that. Don't take your whole 10 acres and finance the whole thing and compete. I know it's no money down. Don't do it, fam. Because if worse comes to worse, you lose your job, you lose everything, they'll just foreclose on that quarter of an acre, that half an acre, and then you got the rest of the 9.5, 9.75 acre. Yes, you won't like passing by it, but the rest of the land is yours. So many people, they don't play the game to win, and they play the game to survive. And they look at that moment and that time. Be patient. If you don't have the money right now, save it up. How can I save with so many costs? Hedge your costs. That could determine that I get out the market, that I get out the convenience. So for instance, there was some times where it didn't pay for me to live near my job because it was cheaper for me to live outside that market and the commute than it was for me to live in convenience. There are times where I might lived in a rural area, renting or buying. It doesn't matter. But the cost savings far outweighed me living close to whatever resource I had. But what you do when you get that cost savings, you don't spend it. You don't go on these vacations. You don't do this. You build a nest egg to allow you to be in a good position if you have to move. You do that first. You set that foundation first. You set that savings, that emergency fund first. You set that what if funds first. I'm renting. What if they tell me I need to get out of here? You set all of that in place first before you start to enjoy some of your fruits of your labor. So think about that, fam. Just think about that. So no matter whether you're renting or you buying, put yourself in a benefiting situation. Now let's talk about buying. You're in a city. The city is growing. It's growing tremendously, right? We know cities have fluctuation. They will have decades upon decades of growth, and then they'll have a flat line, and then some of them will go under. You buy low and sell high, right? But when it comes to real estate, it's a long-term commitment. And that's taboo in most cases. Most of the time, we don't want to get in a long-term relationship with nothing. But understand this, you do it to make sure that you diversify what you're doing. So invest, you might do some day trading, you might do some Bitcoin, you might do some crypto, you might do a variety of different investments, but also mix it up with some long-term investments, right? Because I always hear people tell me, I'm not planning on living here that long. I'm not planning on doing this. I'm not planning on doing that. And they end up staying somewhere from 5 to 6 to 7 years. And they say they was only going to stay there for 2 years. So whenever you're planning, plan in a mindset with diversity, fam. This real estate that I invest in, whether it's renting or buying, what would it look like after 5 or 6 years? What would my situation look like after 5 or 6 years? And then base your decision on moving forward based on that. Not based on, I'm only going to be here for 1 year, 2 years. Because things change. Life changes. Life happens. Babies, health, job, a lot of stuff changes. Now, if you are only planning on staying somewhere for a year, is it wise to buy property, to buy that land? It may not be wise. If I only know that my contract is only for a year, and yes, I can afford to buy a house and maybe flip it in a year, I wouldn't take that chance. I would focus on cheap rent or affordable renting, stack my bread. And then if the end of that year contract, it can be extended for 5 or 6 years, then I would focus on maybe buying. But if I know that I'm working on a contract basis, I'm only going to be here for a year based on that contract, ain't no way in the world I would get in no home ownership. So that's why I say it really depends on your situation, and you have to monitor that. Country Hustle, what's going on? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Y'all talk to me. Be Rich, what's going on? Be Rich, bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up, man. Out there searching for that land. Get that land, man. Ownership is such an interesting concept to discuss. When Europeans first came to the U.S., the natives laughed at the idea of land ownership. You can't own land any more than you can own the sky. Yes, my friend, you are correct. But you know I gotta throw that but. And it's not negating what you said, but I'm gonna use but as an extension on what you're saying. Land ownership based on American society means freedom of space. Let me say that one more time. Land ownership in American society means freedom of space. And the moment we drill this in our head, the moment everything makes sense. What I mean by that is elbow room, extension. Your dogs are not leashed. They run freely. Your chickens can walk around the yard. You can plant whatever you want. You can walk around your area wherever you want to. The more space you have, the more you can stretch your legs. So if I'm paying rent for $1,500 a month, but if I own something, bought, paid for, and I'm paying $300 a year, what are we comparing? Fam, what are we comparing? If my refrigerator goes out, I only have to pay $300 a year. If my refrigerator goes out, I buy a freaking refrigerator. I don't buy a $1,500 refrigerator, but I buy a $800 or $900 refrigerator. I'm still saving money, right? The difference is eventually, if you're smart and if you buy within your means, you will not have a payment every single month for that piece of property or space. The sooner you do it, the sooner you will be finished with it. The problem is, I make $100,000 a year and I buy a $120,000 car. Makes no sense whatsoever. But if I make $100,000 a year and I buy a $10,000 car, I'm winning. I'm winning. Yes, I have to pay payments on that $10,000 car, but my payments on the $10,000 car, when I'm making $100,000 a year, it just makes sense. It's not bothersome to me. It's not a burden to me, right? And if I had to pay for it cash, I could suck it up a few months, 5 to 6 months, and just pay for it cash without even blinking an eye. Put yourself in a position of authority. Put yourself in a position of winning over suffering. But if I'm renting, paying that $800 and $900 a month, if I stop paying my rent, what happens? Within 2 to 3 months, I'm evicted. In some states, if you stop paying your mortgage, you got about 6 months. Some states. And I got time to stack up my cheese. I will share with you, there was a home that I lost, brand new site built home that we had. We bought it, had it built, all of that. First people to walk into that, live into that. But I paid a bunch of money to my principal, not a bunch. I just paid maybe $100 to $200 every single month to my principal. And I lost my job, I lost my business, I lost a lot of stuff. And they foreclosed on that property. But we had about 8 months to vacate that premises. Within that 8 months, now if I was paying rent, I would have been out. But within that 8 months, I was able to stack some bread. I was able to find another job, employment, all of that kind of stuff, right? I still lost the home. But guess what? Within about a year, maybe like a year and a couple of months, guess what they did? They cut me a check for thousands of dollars because I had equity. They took their bank fees, they took the foreclosure fees, they took everything out of that. And guess what? The house still had equity. And after they did all that they had to do, they got all the exorbitant fees and everything, they still cut me thousands of dollars a year and 2 months later because the money, after I paid all my fees and obligations, they still had to give it to me. So fam, I'm not saying every situation gonna run in like that, because when it comes to real estate, everything is about demand and location, location, location. And don't think about your location unless you're paying cash. The only time that you really do something based on what you want when it comes to investing in property is when you can pay for it cash. If you can't pay for it cash, be strategic and think about my wants and me being able to liquidate these obligations. So you got to split it. You got to split it. If you can't pay for this thing cash, you say, what location would everybody want outside of what I want? Where is the demand in this city, this space, or this county where I want? Then you get into that contract obligation, right? The reason why you do that is because if you ever have to unload that piece of property, you will yield, in most cases, a return. If you don't pick the location and you pick all about my current situation, my feelings, my emotions, this community, and this community brings so much, it's so enriched, it's so this, and no one really wants to move that community. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I can get it at a great price. If you're not hedging that with savings, investment to do what I said from the beginning, then you're not placing yourself in a winning situation. And real estate will be devastating to you. If you come in at entry level, like imagine this. I'm selling 10 acres. Low down payment to no down payment. Easy approval, no credit check, no nothing. Red flags should come up. Red flags should come up. Everything should just, if I got 400 credit score and you willing to lend me some money based on me putting some down payment on this house, this property, whatever, no credit check, no background check, no nothing, I need to be very cautious in going into that. And if I do go into that, I need to already expect a lot of costs for infrastructure. The house probably tore down, it probably got wood rot, the floors are rot. I need to be expecting that because the bar was so low. But if I'm looking at something where the bar is set high and it costs for me to save for 5 years just to put a down payment on, most of them cases, you winning. I hate to say that, but you're winning in most cases. Not all, but most. Shy, what's up, Shy? Many blessings to you. Bless up, Shy. What's going on? Queen says, when you purchase homes in subdivision, you don't own the plot of land. Woo, Queen. Wait a minute. I'm finna hit that post that's on the icon. Ooh, you said something there. When you purchase homes in subdivisions, most people don't realize that. For instance, wait a minute, let me keep reading. You got me excited. Purchase your land and build on it. Okay. Man, Queen, you dropped the bomb right there. If I wanted to start a subdivision here on the property, I must first own the land or have investors where I have part ownership of the land. Or I may have to lay out a plan that is so great for the lending institution that they be like, we will acquire the land and you can pay a note on it. It's going to be a great situation. In most cases, I have to own the land, right? Now, when I subdivide this piece of property into a subdivision, So I break up lots. Now, understand, every county, every city is different. Here in this county that I'm in, it's only one home per acre. So if I own 5 acres, that means I can have 5 homes on this subdivided land, right? But guess what? I have to lay down the streets. I have to pay for it being surveyed. I have to pay for a lot of stuff, and I have to get it approved. The neighborhood, community, I got to post it, public notice. Now, the community may say, no, we don't want that to happen in the area, and it could just kill everything. There's a lot of steps when you're doing investment in property. So just say I had 5 acres, and I said I want to build a subdivision, and I'm going to have 5 homes in this subdivision. I got easements, I got roadways, drainage, runoff, drainage. I got environmental impact. I got to do all this engineering. I got to do all of this stuff, right? The county can decide what name of the roads it's going to be, name of the streets, name of the circle. I can propose what I want to name it. It's a lot of work that goes into that. But now you as a consumer, just say, I want to buy a lot in that 5 acres, that 1 acre spot. If you don't come up with cash, I still own that property. Understand this. If you buy cash and you buy for that lot, you own that property. But if you build on that and you work with a construction company, right? Just say, some subdivisions say, I'm only allowing certain contractors to build on this property, right? This is my subdivision. I get to take whatever I want to. This is my land. So they say, okay, this construction company, and you can get a construction loan. But if you don't tie that land into that construction loan, all you're paying for is the construction of that dwelling. You may not own that land. But now, if you get a land and home package, then the bank owns the land and the home until you pay it off. They can sell it off to certain banks. They can sell it off to investment. They can do whatever they want to based on that contract, right? You don't own it. You paying on it, but you don't own it. But if you go in that subdivision, you say, I'm going to buy that acre. I put down the money. Will I finance it? Once again, you don't own it if you finance it. Just keep that in mind. If you borrow money, you don't own it. Some people will do a credit card. I've known people to buy properties with credit cards. Carlton Sheets. Shout out to Carlton Sheets. Rest in peace, Carlton Sheets. Carlton Sheets was my man back in the days. Carlton Sheets, man. Y'all Google Carlton Sheets, man. Carlton Sheets was a beast when it came to property. He turned me on when it comes to investing in property. Carlton Sheets said, you find any way that you possibly can to get that land in your name. He said, I don't care whether you get a credit card. Now, I'm not promoting none of this, right? Because if that credit card company says you forfeited, I'm finna go buy this land and take this back from you, they can do it. But most cases, they just gonna do what they're gonna do with that credit card, and they'll probably come at you and sell off that loan or whatever. But I digress so bad. But you brought up a great conversation, Queen, and I thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people don't realize, due to the complexity or due to what they agree on, sometimes they don't even own the land. They got a house there, brick house, concrete, stucco, trim, whatever. And they think they own that property. But somebody that owns that land, because they didn't tie that into the mortgage, guess what happens? They can forfeit and take out a loan on that piece of property and get foreclosed on that land. And I've listened to people who have bought homes and they got into that contract not knowing that they done just bought that structure and they don't own that land. And fam, I'm telling you, you're no different between them 900 families that's down there in South Florida that now are being told to vacate their home. You're no different. But the industry will tell you it's because of mobile home. But what they do is just like anything else. They'll try on the people that don't have the means or the resources to counter sue or whatever, and then they try these tactics. And then if they get away with them, then they escalate it to another level and another level financially, what I mean by level of people. Pay attention before you get into these contracts, mortgages. Do I own this land? Go on the county website. Find out who owns the land. Make sure whoever owns that land, that's in that contract. If I see a piece of land, go on Google Maps, go on that county website and look up that plot of land and see if Eco Neighbor owns that piece of property. Make sure in your contract you see somewhere Eco Neighbor somewhere in that. Because if you don't see Eco Neighbor somewhere in that, you might not own that land. You might just own that structure. What's the difference between renting when you think about it? Now, understand this. If somebody built a house on my land, I might have some liens on my land, but I got to satisfy, but I own that land, right? I got to satisfy that lien. They got a lien on that property, but I own any enhancements, any improvements. So if you renting to own property, you got a homestead and you rent to own it, or you got a house and you rent to own it. Any improvements, you put a fence up, you dig a well, you put septic tank, you plant trees, you do all of that. The owner benefits. You don't benefit until you own it. You don't benefit until you own it. You don't have rights to it until you own it. So much positivity in the chat this morning. I love it. Man, we love y'all, man. We love our chat. We really appreciate y'all coming in, spending some time. I wish the days would come back once more. It's a shame they have gone up on the interest. Well, Queen, let me step outside my personal thing. Thank you for going up on the interest rate. Thank you for going up on the interest rate. Continue to go up on the interest rate. We got to protect the dollar, fam. We got to protect what we own. We got to go through the hard truth of, it's almost like this. Imagine if you ate all the sweets you wanted to eat and your body is suffering and you didn't get fat. You didn't get congestive heart failure. You didn't get none of this stuff. Then you continue to destroy your body. Interest is like that. When interest rates goes up, it needs to slow people down. And we need to slow down. We're doing far more. When you got cars that's worth $15,000, $16,000 and we selling them for $80,000 and $60,000, something wrong. And I'm gonna tell you what's something really wrong. When you buy something that's $200 and $300 here in the United States, then you can go to another country and get it for $10 to $15. The same thing, same quality. Something wrong. We need to slow down and really pay attention to what's really worth it. When you got a bedroom for your dog and your cat, I ain't diminishing nothing. But you got other countries where one room, 15 people. Something wrong, fam. So interest is there to slow us down, to make us think before we purchase, to consider the consequences. And I think right now we really need to consider our consequences, what we're doing. In society, in this world, I think we need to really slow down and really consider what we're doing. But it should not stop you if you can afford it to buy it. That shouldn't stop. Interest rate should not stop you if you can afford it. And if it's a great deal and you do the math and it makes sense. So I'm just saying. But you got to do your own research. Buy is the best option, even if you don't make money at first. My first house broke even, and my second house made enough to buy the third house on land. Glad I stopped renting since 2006 and didn't give up. All in the Soil testimony. All in the Soil says buying, not renting. But I want to hear from some renters, because let me tell y'all, fam, Some of the richest people rent and lease. They don't own it. They rent and lease. So I'm telling you, fam, there's no right or wrong. You need to know your situation. You need to know what's best for you. Some of the richest people don't necessarily own. I don't mean they don't have no property. I don't mean they don't have no real estate, but they mainstay, they may lease, they may write it off, whatever you want to call it, however you want to do it, but strategize what you're doing, fam. Know the rules to engagement. My sister landlord gave her 2 to 4 weeks to move because he was selling the house or he was renovating the house. She was extremely angry. Her rent was never late. She was on Section 8. It don't matter whether you're paying on time. It don't matter whether you was a good tenant. You don't own it. You have no rights. You don't have a dog in the hunt. It's like a job. You can be the best worker. You can not document your time and work overtime. You can work on weekends. You can do all of this. But mentally in your head, you need to understand I could be fired at any moment, any time, because this ain't mine. This ain't my stuff. I might be a steward of a desk or a chair or a computer or a cell phone, but I don't own this. Ain't no difference between land. Ain't no difference between a house. Ain't no difference between this tractor. Ain't no difference between this road, my cars, my vehicles. We don't own it. We're just stewards. And at any time, it can be taken. So, just because you own land don't mean they won't foreclose. But typically, if you own something, it's a longer process and they got to go through more hoops than just taking it from you. Put me in a position of authority, fam. Don't leave me vulnerable, butt naked, sitting out there. Don't leave me out there just stranded, you know. A similar thing happened with my niece, family man. We pay mortgage weekly, so there's an extra. Woo! Tap into it, baby. Tap into it. Listen, fam, outpace that interest. Interest is what turns off so many people. Paying weekly, understand interest is calculated on a daily basis. Your mortgage, your interest is calculated on a daily basis. Your frequency of payments puts you more in a better situation without pacing that interest. Now imagine if Kathy B paid $10 or $15 extra and it went to the principal on that weekly basis. You'll notice that if you finance your property with payments on a weekly basis, bi-weekly, you will pay it off sooner than if you did it monthly. Just because the standard is monthly does not mean you need to do it. You get to make that decision. You decide the frequency of your payments. If you are not wedged into this bad contract just because you have a monthly mortgage, don't mean you can't pay weekly. Hello? You don't mean it. When buying, I'm avoiding HOAs. HOAs has its benefits. If you love structure, you like, typically, most people that buy in HOAs, they're limited on what they can buy based on the proximity of where they want to be at. Another thing is they want structure. They want some type of stability, some type of, you go down the road, everybody got manicured lawns, everybody has something nice. They don't have junk cars in the front of you. The value can stay stable. There's benefits in HOAs. I just look at it as space. I want as much freedom and space as I want to. If it's raining and I park my car in front of my doorstep and I don't want my Queen Gigi to get real wet and I want her to park right there and it's cold, it's raining, it's sleeting, it's snowing, park in front of the doorstep and get out and take your time going up them steps to get in the house. And tomorrow morning I will move it and I don't want to be fined. I'm just saying. Or if I have a cookout and I got 20 people here and Out of the 20 people, 8 of them drove their separate cars. I don't want no problem with them parking all in my yard that I'm paying for. Or I listen to a YouTube concert, Purple Rain, and I want to trim the base of my house purple. I don't want no problems. It just what you want to do. Sounds like they want the land. Oh yeah. Most people, they're smart investors. Imagine this, if you own the land and they didn't own the structure, they are proposing for them 900 families to be a park, a city park. So you willing to displace 900 families to build a park where no one lives, no one can stay permanent. Now, we have seen cities here in the beautiful state of Florida where they took wasteland where the city dumps and they have transformed those into parks and neighborhoods. But you mean to tell me you willing to disperse 900 families for a park? I don't know. Toy, how you doing? Toy McCormick, how you doing? Bless up, bless up. 28 watching, only hey, I appreciate you. Only if you want to, fam. Only if you want to. I appreciate the likes. That definitely helps. That's happening now with actual houses in Detroit, Michigan. I think they call it land trust. There's so many different processes, so many different vehicles that people use to obtain land and to do what they need to do. That's why I keep saying, read the contract, pay attention what you're looking at. If you're getting ready to acquire land or you're getting ready to buy a house or you're thinking about buying a house, pay attention. Go to the county's website, look at the property appraisal, look at the structure of that land, make sure it's not a trust. If it is a trust, make sure that before you do that title search, make sure there's nothing popping up on that title search. Pay for a title search. Don't trust nobody's word. Go ahead and pay for that title search and make sure in that contract when you're getting ready to acquire that land that those individuals that's on that property, deed or assessor's office, make sure there's some mentioning of those individuals, because I'm telling you, it's people that's selling. It's people that's selling virtual land as if it is physical land. Because there's a market with virtual land, but they selling this virtual land as if it was real concrete land. So do your research, fam. Please, fam, don't go into this thing blindly. The individual owns the house, but not the land. That's going to become more and more popular, fam. Pay attention. You're going to watch. Right now, there's a major land seizure in South Florida. They have had multiple hurricanes that have hit Florida. I know it hit other areas, but I'm talking about my backyard. They are buying houses, pennies on the dollars, because these homeowners can't afford the deductible to rebuild. Even if it's 2 or 3%. The home value has increased. If you've been staying in a home, just say you bought a home for $160,000 back in 1988. And now that house is worth $1.2 million. And you need 2.3, or just say you need 3%. What's 3% of $1 million? To even pay for your deductible. And then people say, I give you $500, I give you $280,000 cash. I give you $300,000 cash. You paid $160 for it. You get $300,000 and you can't pay the deductible. They're taking the $300,000 and they're walking away. And these companies are saying all day long, I'm eating. And we're going to rebuild, but we're going to eat as much as we can eat. And then guess what? The value is going to be skyrocketing. And they're building communities where they're going to keep maintaining and owning the land. And at any point where they say, okay, we done put enough money, we done built the structure, it should last about 30 years. And after these 30 years, it's going to start to diminish. Either we're going to sell it or we're going to tear it down and rebuild. These corporations don't have a lifespan like we got. They don't think like we think. They think 20, 50, 40 years down the road because they're going to live far beyond a human life. So that's what you're competing against. They got the resources. They have the money. Let me share something with you. I don't know if I still got it in my phone. I was looking this morning. Let me see if I got it on my phone. Let's see. Let's say. I don't think I do. Let's see. If you think about some of the richest people in this world, you realize how much money they have? All right, here we go. Elon Musk. Now, I looked at one thing. All right, we got Elon Musk, $320 billion. Can you count to a billion? Jeff Bezos, $235 billion. Now, granted, this is net worth. So just say they had $100 billion in cash. Or just say they had $80 billion in cash. Just say they had $10 billion in cash. Do you understand how much money that is? Mark Zuckerberg, he probably one of the youngest on the top rich people. Is the guy, what is he, about 40 years old, somewhere around there? Mark Zuckerberg. Elon Musk, maybe, what, 50, 55 years? I don't know how old these people are, but I'm just saying, $205 billion, Mark Zuckerberg. Fam, understand your struggles and your things in life. It's not even a drop in the bucket in a lot of these people mindsets that you want these people to be leaders. Now, understand some of these people getting in politics, which I'm not going down that way. Politics don't pay enough for them to want to do the job. They trying to leave legacies and they trying to position their businesses in the right position. It has nothing to do with you. He's going to make the place greater. He's going to hold accountability. Let me tell y'all, fam. Your play money is billions of dollars. You think they're really concerned about your $200 or $300 mortgage, $300,000 mortgage, or $500,000 mortgage, or $1 million mortgage, $1 million? How many millions does it take to make 1 billion? I didn't even say $100 million. How many millions does it take to make 100 million? So I digress. I just want to stay in here. I'm finna get out of here, y'all. Very good tip for promoting, for proportioning off land. Yeah, it's so many ways you can do this thing. I wasn't saying that as a model for us to use. You know, I'm all for ownership, especially in my own space. Just interesting how the concept has evolved. Yeah. But fam, being you're young, beautiful individual, pay attention. More and more of the freedoms are being exhausted and being taken away. I only been here for a little bit more than 5 decades, and I just look at, I don't think a lot of our freedoms that we thought were there was really there. It's just showing to prove, but we're watching between technology, we're watching between our goals and our aspirations. It used to be people lifted people based on their character, based on their decision making, based on their morals. And I'm not going to go into that because there was a tone that cared about that. And they had weight. Their opinions matter. Now we are basing everything based on social likability, based on empowerment, based on financial success, and not the human piece of it. Because whether we like it or not, every human has tear ducts. Every human defecate. Every human has blood. Every human has skin. Every human has emotions, right? But for some reason, we've gone to the part in life where we ignore all of that and we look at, let's run our lives like a business and not enjoy life. Is it better to buy or to rent? You make that decision. What do your life tell you? Do I not want to be obligated to long-term commitment? Or do I want to be obligated to long-term commitment? Do I want a place that I can call consistent? Or do I want the flexibility to be free and to navigate wherever I want to and not be obligated to certain needs, right? So you make that decision what's best on you. And if you want to diversify, maybe own some property, but maybe even rent. That's your choice. That's the beautiful thing about this beautiful country that we live in, this beautiful place that we live. Because people say you own nothing in reality. But what is the cost? Is it flexibility, freedom, space, time? Or is it commitment and obligation? You make that decision on what you want to do. Sylvia, what's going on? Good to see you. I wondered when you were going to come in. Good to see you today. Bless up, bless up. But you make that decision. You like Carlton Sheets, family man. I like Carlton Sheets too. Carlton Sheets, he was an innovator at the time. I tell you that. Never saw it like that. Good point. Okay. Not sure because I'm so behind. I apologize. Valid point about interest, Eco. Staying within your means. Yeah. That's the in the end, that's the whole goal. I don't care if you live in, I just recently got, rest in peace to my great uncle. He passed, but I recently acquired his van. And I was thinking, I could live in that thing, man. I could go mobile and live in that thing. But understand this. I got a cabin. I could live in that thing. I got a manufactured home. I could live in that thing. I got some trees. I could live in that thing. I got this little bungalow right here. Y'all remember the little bungalow right there? I got this little bungalow right here with the sofa in there and all that good stuff. I could live in that thing. I could dig a hole in the ground and I could live in that thing. Does that make me more or less of a person because I choose what vehicle I want to live in? Somehow we got to get out of judgmental thought about people and understand it's about the flexibility and freedom and empowerment of them enjoying life. Because at the end of the day, it's about us enjoying this time that we have on earth and positioning ourselves that we have that flexibility of freedom. Because in a lot of cases, some of us are not giving ourselves no flexibility, no freedom because we worried about what them trees thinking, what them birds thinking, what y'all thinking. Forget all about that and think about, I got to pay for it. I got to go on this journey. I got to be responsible for it. And at the end of the day, you know what matters? Is being happy with your decision that you make. And I apologize for my lighting. I would never get it right. But at the end of the day, we still got to make our decision on what we want to do. That's a big tractor. I know having that much space has to be incredible. Miss Beautiful 444. Yeah, it's fun. I'm tell you like this. I ain't gonna lie to you. Every time I'm out here on this land, I have to give thanks to God because I know nowhere in this world, based on anything I've done, it was based on him blessing me with the abundance. And every day I live on abundance. Every day I think about abundance. Every day I move toward abundance. And if you view life like that, things will attract to you. Blessings will attract your way, without a doubt. Dang, I missed most of the convo. Good Sunday. What's up? What's up, Grand Acres? Good to see you. You made it in, though. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Wow. That's like selling a dream, purchasing virtual land. You know what? That's what it is. Stocks, investment, crypto, it's all virtual, man. And if you think about it, even though we might feel and touch a lot of stuff, most of this stuff we got in life is nothing but virtual. It's what we see here. How do you know red is red? How do you know green is green? It's your mindset. It's your virtual image that you give it. And that's what it is. What's up, Ben? Ben says, oh, Elon, 30 billion in cash and not a cent in cents of social. Boy, you know, we can have a conversation that, you know, if you erase your mindset, you erase your thoughts about people, and you really sat down and talked to them. I don't even have to sit down and talk to this individual. When you got people that people literally are telling this man stuff that we see on a daily basis, right? And thank you, babe. Appreciate that. Gigi brought me some, woof, my goodness. Gigi brought me some views and some kumquats. Y'all finna make me, I'm finna go as we depart. Man, my friend, you hit the nail on the head. Let me tell you, if we stop putting dollars and exposure with these people and really watch them, I don't care who you're talking about. I don't care whether you talking about party lines or whatever. If we stop putting money and exposure and just look at them for what they are, a lot of these folks ain't that smart, man. I don't mean by calculation smart, because you do have smartness with that. I don't mean by you are enlightened smart. I'm talking about just every day. You in the bushes. You walking down the street. You in the hood. You in the country. You in the woods. Smartness. Anyway, I'm sorry. Buffering a bit, Eco. I apologize, man. I apologize that. Let's see. Family Man says, great info. Thank you. Did you grab the kumquat? I got the kumquat. Gigi hooked me up with a kumquat. So these are Centennial kumquats. This is a hybrid kumquat. And notice the striations here. We got a little yellow. We got a little green. We're going to go ahead and, wait a minute. Let's do the old school way of doing it. Some of y'all don't know about it. I don't have no pesticides. I got nothing but water and a little nature kind of on this thing. So let's go ahead. Let's dive in there. Oh, my. Oh, this thing's so tangy. It's sweet and tangy. Check this out, fam. Look at this. Y'all see what that is? In the future, you will not see this. It's called seeds. In the future, you may not see this. It's called seeds. So if you ever look at this years down the road and you wonder, what are those strange beings in that fruit? It's seeds. These things are so valuable. And look at that. I'm going to put them over off to the side, and I will distribute them throughout the land. Some will grow and some will not. Oh, man. Oh, that was good. Sorry. Now, let's go. I know y'all been waiting. Look at this beautiful piece of fruit right here. We're going to dive into this. Let me go into the chat one more time before we dive into this. Yes. Yes, Green Acres. There are seeds. Wait a minute. Let me get one more. Let me wipe it out. They are seeds, fam. Oh, man. Let me tell you, when you bite into something fresh, citrusy, your taste bud change. It's like my vision. Everything just kind of comes alive. It just sparks. I can't explain it. Oh my goodness, man. This is let me explain the taste. It's tart, but it's refreshing. It's not really sweet. It's kind of tart, not lemony. I don't know. They use this a lot with cooking. Seeds. Disperse your seeds. Even if you throw your seeds away, throw them out in your yard, throw them away in your environment. Don't just throw them to the trash compactor. I don't know. It's a different taste. It leaves me with it's tangy, it's tart. I don't know. I can't explain it, fam. I can't explain it. It's not sweet at all. Outdoor. What's going on? Now we getting ready to jump into this one right here. Look at that beautiful lime, orange blend. The coloration is perfect. I only have a little greening right here at the top, but this is what made me pick it. That right there, that bounciness right there. Now this one I will not bite into the shell, so we're gonna peel it. We're gonna peel it back. It's it's not thin, not too thin. It is a thin peel. And as you can see, look, fam, juice is just, I don't get this a lot of time when I buy. Number one, you ain't buying this out no grocery store. The grocery store does not have these, not where I am. Maybe where you are. Okay, I got to bite into it. I thought I would be able to peel the whole thing. Oh, from the kumquat to this, let me tell you, your brain goes through so many different things, man. When you grow your own food and you try everything, you don't get this kind of stimulation when you just buying something out the grocery store. Not mental stimulation. Now this is definitely a lime, but it's an orange. Look what I got, fam. Seeds. Y'all already know I'm going for a nature walk after this, and I'm going to be dropping seeds and throwing them all over my nature walk. This is unique. I want to say somehow it kind of like a plum. It's weird. It has like this, it's citrus without a doubt, but it has like a undertone of like a good, not sweet, but pungent plum. Wow, that's incredible. Where does the plum come from? Man, I tell you, God is good. It got a plum taste to it. I look, I've never grown this before. Didn't know what to expect. Centennial kumquat, I've had those at my last. Matter of fact, that tree came from my last home. It's been producing ever since it's been here. But this is different. It's so unique. It has a plum undertone. And I mean that old school plum, like them big, thick, rich plums. It's different. Let me go into the chat. Let's see what we got going on, chat. Seeds are for reproduction. Without them, they are not real. Seeds are by design from the Most High. Fam, we are witnessing total destruction of nature. We don't want procreation. I'm saying society is going towards that part where we don't want procreation. We want limited childbearing. We don't want plants with seeds. I mean, we want the flowers without pollination. We want animals sterile. We want to kill, when it comes to hunting, we want to kill the most majestic, strongest, beautiful part of that species. We will allow permitting to delete. Think about deer hunting. You want the one with the biggest rack, the biggest girth, the male. If everybody does that, what happens to the deer population? Do we just get inferior deers over a period of time because we're killing everything? I mean, I don't get it. When we go fishing, we throw back the small ones that's edible, that's more flavorful, and we can harvest the big ones. Man, got to do better. We got to do better, fam. And we got to use our own brain. Wait a minute, I dropped the seed. I cannot believe I dropped the seed. Not on my watch. No, we're not dropping seeds. We're dropping them, but we're dropping them strategically throughout the land. But I don't know. You're right, Queen. I totally agree with you, Queen. Good morning. What's up? What's up, Miss Graham? What's going on? Good to see you too as well. We have 2 or 3 red navel orange trees, and the fruit is incredible. Yes, definitely will be spreading the seeds throughout the land. Amen. I'm finna go for a walk after I get off of this thing and disperse the seeds. Your labor is paying off. Yes. You know what? Every day we drop seeds. Every day we rise and wake up and open our eyes, we're dropping seeds. The question is, what type of seeds are you dropping? Whether you're renting or whether you're owning, you're dropping seeds. Regardless, you're dropping seeds. CVR says, I would be looking for navel orange tree. I have a pineapple orange. Pineapple orange, those are some good trees too. And they bear some good fruit too. I grew the long beans and some squash. Okay, y'all talking amongst each other. Fam, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I hope y'all have a beautiful weekend. Question, what is the name of that you're eating? Centennial Kumquat, and the other one I forgot. I know it's a lime, and it's down the property. I can't run and grab. I don't know if I got a label on it or not. I apologize. It's a split between a lime and an orange. And you probably could Google it and it'll give you some varieties between the lime and the orange. But that thing, it had a plum taste to it, which threw me off. I don't know. It had a plum taste to it. And I know the only thing I ate this morning was some moringa leaves. Sometimes it matters what you eat prior to eating it. I ate that Centennial. And then I followed up by that. Maybe it's different if I don't. But it had an undertone of a plum taste, which was weird. I would never think a plum taste would be in the citrus. Where we are. All in the Soul says, Eco, do you have a pineapple guava? Mine hasn't flowered yet. I got a guava down there. Not sure what kind it is. Got a guava. It's down there. What is this? Is this the guava over here? I don't know, Gigi. Let me know. Is the guava by the little cabana, or is it down there towards Gigi's way? One of these is a guava. I'm not sure which one it is. That's a root paw. Okay. Root ring paw. I don't know. I ain't finna mess up that name. Lime, baby. Tell me it tastes like an orange and a lemon blend. To me, it tastes like okay. Yeah, it's what Gigi just named. She knows about that. She bought that thing. I don't know. I taste a undertone of a plum for some reason. That's good to know. I had a great garden this summer. Keep doing a great job. Yeah, every day we plant, baby. Yes, it was juicy and definitely delicious. I'm gonna say this one to after I go live. I gonna jump into that. Your husband is. Oh, appreciate that. Thank you. Much love. Much love. This garden was the best one I've ever had in years. We were able. Gotcha. I'm all up in people business. Let's see. CVR says 2 years in the ground, well drained soil. Gotcha. Gotcha. Fam, I appreciate y'all. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm getting ready to head on out of here. I think I'm gonna throw some stuff on the grill today. It is beautiful. Let me check the time. Y'all remember what time? What not time? Let me check the temperature. Y'all remember the temperature when I first started? It's 61 degrees right now, fam. It's 61 degrees, and I'm getting ready to drop some seeds and go make me a run, give me a little something put on the grill, and we're gonna have a fantabulous Sunday if the Lord be willing. The creek don't rise. I'll see you next time at sunrise. Y'all take care, stay blessed, and don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Take care. Till next time, fam. Y'all stay well, stay blessed, and you know I love you. We'll have it no other way. Peace.